All right, we are back. We're ready to roll. It's Thursday. Team went back to practice today, so we're going to talk all about it. Sorry, I had a call right in the middle of the intro, so I had to stop. But we're back, better than ever. I'm not going to take any more calls. I don't care. We got to get the show on the road. How are we feeling today? Happy Thursday. It is getting closer to game day, Monday Night Football. What's up? How's everybody doing? It's Thursday, and Nia Perez, this is probably the theme of the week. I've never been so excited for a Monday. It's true. I hate Mondays, but I think most Niner fans around the world are hyped up for Monday because the 49ers get to play Monday Night Football in Mexico City against the Arizona Cardinals, a division rival. That the Arizona Cardinals are playing with their backs against the wall. They are 4-6, and this is a must-win game for them. There's still quarterback, question marks surrounding Colt McCoy and Kyler Murray. Apparently, they practiced today, but the 49ers, they're not taking this game lightly. The Mexico City, the elevation is 7,000 feet above sea level. So the 49ers went to Colorado, and they're practicing there because altitude is about 6,000 feet above. They're doing altitude training to make sure they get their bodies right and prepare themselves for that high altitude in Mexico. Because that's tough. If you ever played anything or done anything in high altitude, it's hard to breathe. It's definitely hard to breathe. So they are practicing in Colorado, and it's a little cold out there. From all the reports, it was like 26 degrees from what these reporters were saying today. 26 degrees in the high altitude, that's murder. That's tough on the body. Unbelievable. Debo didn't even want to come out to practice. He saw the video. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm good. And then you had them. They were just in the cold weather. You had freaking Fred Warner and Charlie Warner, sleeveless. Of course, those guys are crazy. But yeah, in any case, this team is definitely trying to get themselves ready and psyched up. They're getting themselves psyched up for the high altitude. That's tough, man. It's tough to be in high altitude weather. So the Niners are doing what they can to get themselves ready to roll. A couple of notes from practice. Armstead did not practice. He's still dealing with the foot injuries that he has, the plantar fasciitis and the hairline fracture. It's unfortunate. And we're still dealing with Javon Kinlaw and the knee injury. Obviously, we talked about it earlier this week, I think yesterday, that he's been ruled out for this week. He stayed in Santa Clara to rehab the knee. They don't want him to get any more swelling in that knee. So it'd be pretty bad if he were to get any swelling in the knee. So Javon Kinlaw stayed in the Bay. He's not going to be doing any rehab with them right now, or he's not going to be doing anything with the team right now. He's just doing his rehab. Chances of him coming back, we don't know. There's no timetable. We'll see what happens. And the other guy, Samson Ebicam on the D-line, that was hurt last week, quad injury. He did not practice as well. So, again, Arik Armstead, Samson Ebicam, and Javon Kinlaw, all of the D linemen that have been hurt, did not practice today. Javon Kinlaw stayed in the Bay to do his rehab and everything like that. Danny Gray got back into some team drills there, from what I read. So Danny Gray, who had the ankle issue, he's back in practice. That's a good news. We'll see if they are able to utilize him. But again, he's like your special teamer. He's not really getting much of a chance, but it's nice that he's getting healthy. So Marco says, anybody else ruled out? From what I understand, nobody else right now. Right now, the biggest injury is Arik Armstead and Javon Kinlaw. So Kinlaw was ruled out officially yesterday. Armstead hasn't been ruled out, but I doubt he plays this weekend. I will be very surprised if he plays Monday night. So it's unfortunate. The Niners need to get healthy. They got to get healthy quick. And speaking of D linemen, I want to get into this conversation. So Kyle Shanahan was talking to the media today, and he did say that let me pull up the tweet. I think Matt Barrows tweeted this actually not too long ago. I think right before I started the show. Matt Barrows tweeted out that Shanahan indicated the 49ers had some interest and defensive tackle Ndamukong Suh, who, of course, signed with the Eagles. So they did do their due diligence in getting Ndamukong Suh. I know the Eagles signed him up. The rich get richer. And it's kind of one of those things you're like, oh, man, couldn't we have used Suh with all the injuries to our D-line? I think the Niners were definitely trying to. They were taking a peep. Of course, due diligence, right? Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, they do their due diligence. They were making sure, keeping tabs on it. But I think the Eagles, they probably went all in, paid them a little bit more money. They have a need. And also, it's up to Ndamukong Suh, who's a free agent. He probably looks at the Eagles. Oh, they're 8-1. They have a high chance to go to the Super Bowl. So, I mean, when you're looking at, from the outside looking in, Ndamukong Suh probably saw, you got the Eagles, who are 8-1. They play in an easy division. They got an easy schedule. Let me go to the Eagles. So that's my take on it. But at least it's nice to know that the Niners were trying to put their, hat in the mix. So looks good. S Flood Marco says they're scared. They can't stop the run game. Yeah, they got gashed on Monday Night Football against the Commanders, and they went out and signed 2 players, Joseph Linval and Ndamukong Suh, because their run defense was bad. It was bad, and we talked about this on Monday. If we play the Eagles, if anybody plays the Eagles and you bully them and you hit them in the mouth, you're going to beat them. And they had to beef up that D-line. So they're smart. I think they were. They definitely were scared. So they know what's coming. Yeah, S-Flood, they know exactly what's coming. If the Niners come and they bring that dominating, defense and that run game to them, the Eagles are going to be scared because they're not as physical as the 49ers. We're going to hit you in the mouth. We're going to punch you in the face. We're going to kick you in the teeth. We're going to do a lot of bullying, and you're going to be scared, and you're going to be upset, and you're going to be sick to your stomach. So we'll see. But, yeah, they did go and at least do their due diligence on Ndamukong Suh. A lot of people, we did a show a couple weeks ago, and I remember everybody, well, go get Suh, go get Suh, go get Suh. So I know Niner fans wanted Ndamukong Suh. I've asked this question several times. A lot of Niner fans would love to have Ndamukong Suh on their team, because he's a big-time force in the middle, right? And Arik Armstead is missing, and Javon Kinlaw is missing, and now Samson Ebukam is missing. So you need to get some depth in the D-line. He's been a quality player through his career, a great veteran. He would step right in. So I think that's what the stance was from the whole Niner fans that were in the comments. I remember that. So I don't think it would have been a bad move. But would he have fit in? I don't know. That's the big question. Would he have fit in? You know what I mean? It's tough to say. We'll see how he does in Philly. Philly's a rough place. He's a rough guy. So, he might fit in well with that vibe. What's up, Alberto? He says he wouldn't fit in with the team. He wouldn't want to be told anything. So, yeah, that basically answers my question, right? Would Ndamukong Suh have fit in, right? Would he have fit in with this team? I don't know. Alberto says no. He says no because he's kind of a punk, right? And he doesn't want to listen to anybody. He's been in the league for a long time. Why does he have to listen to anybody, right? That's the vibe I think most people get. He wants to go in, play his game on his terms, and help a team win a championship and not be told what to do. So would he have fit in? Probably not. Would he have been a good player to have on the D-line? I think so. So it's one of those things you have to weigh out the good versus the bad. You got to make one of those little pros versus cons list. And I'm sure the Niners did, because they said, again, we looked into it, and they left it at that. So due diligence, that's what they do. When the Niners do due diligence, they look at the player, and they have to really outweigh everything and say, is he worth it? Is he worth it or not? And to them, maybe it wasn't. And maybe it was Ndamukong Suh that said, hey, look, I want to go to the Philly Eagles because they got an easy schedule. They're going to be easier for me. You play with the Niners, you got to be a beast. You got to be a bully. Chris Kasurk's going to be yelling at your face. Chris Kasurk's going to be in your face. You think Ndamukong Suh wants to be yelled at by Chris Kasurk? He's 36 years old. Ndamukong Suh. You think he wants to be yelled at by Chris Kasurk? No. So I agree with that, Alberto. He doesn't want to be told what to do. Chris Kasurk would be in the man's face. He doesn't want that. S. Flood says the Eagles are low-key kind of soft. A little bit. Again, it's a team that they're finesse. They're good. They have a strong defense. They got a good team, but they're not good against the run. So that tells me if you bully them, if you run them, if you push them and you punish them, they'll crack, man. They'll crack. As Flood says, are the Vikings legit? Big win in the Bills last week? I think the Vikings are legit, man. That was a big win against the Bills. They look good. New coach. We've talked about them. They spread the ball around. Kirk's playing great. I don't know. I think the Bills are a good team. That's a tough win for anybody. And I know they haven't been playing at their best. I don't think the Bills are playing the way we expected the Bills to be right now. But they'll figure it out, and they're still going to be one of the top tier teams. Vikings, big win. I think they're really good right now. Playing good. Suh is out of gas cells. Sacktown, is he? He might be. And that's the other issue, which I'm sure they looked into it. How much does he have left in the tank? He's been in the league for a long time. He's been around the block. He's no spring chicken. Ndamukong Suh's close to my age. This is an old man. How much does he have left in the tank? I don't know. So that could be something they looked into as well and say, does he have enough juice left for the squeeze? Now, again, he would be a beneficial part for this line because you need someone to plug the gaps. But you're right. How much can he give him? We'll see. We'll see what happens with Philly. We'll see. Let's see. We looking like last year's team. Yeah, we are looking like last year's team. We kind of had some adversity at the beginning of the year. We turned it around and we went on a run. I think that's what we're going to do this year. I honestly feel we're going to turn it around. We're going to go on a run. The Niners are going to turn it around and go on a run. There's something going on in that locker room about Armstead. I think he will be back sooner than we all think. I hope so. I think Armstead will be back eventually. You got to give him another week or two, maybe 3. Worst case scenario, they know that he'll come back. They'll make sure that he's going to be healthy and ready for the playoff push. Because as long as he's coming back towards the end of the season, he has a few games under his belt to kind of shake the rust off and be ready and in good shape for the playoffs. That's all that matters. I'm good with, Armstead rehabbing and getting better and taking his time because we really need him. I think we can win these games without him right now. But then when he comes back, it'll be even crazier how good this defense could be. Run defense especially. And over the last several years, he never really missed a regular season game. 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, he never missed a regular season game. And then this year, it kind of caught up to him, and he's missed some games. Unfortunately, it's a tough injury, stress fracture, right, hairline fracture, plus the plantar fasciitis. Just a lot of strain over the years. He's been a beast, right? He's been grinding in the trenches, putting a lot of strain on his body and his feet especially, and caught up with him. But I think he'll be okay. He'll get healthy, and they're going to let him take his time. And I think he'll be back, and he'll be a big part of the stretch run. I really have all the faith in him, and I really believe what you just said, that Armstead will be back, and he'll be able to help this team out and be a beneficial contributor down the stretch. So Alberto says he'll be back for the Miami game. I would love to see him back. Kelvin says the same thing. He says he thinks he's coming back for the Dolphins week. I would love to see that, right? Arch says prediction for the season. I still got to set 11-6. I said 11-6 before the season started. And I'm going to say 11-6 now because I don't think we're going to win all these games. There's going to be a few games where we're like, how the hell we lose, right? Probably 2 games we lose. So Dolphins game's going to be tough. Seattle game's going to be tough. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady's turned things around. It might be pretty tough, right? But again, we have a lot of home games, and that's going to be beneficial because this Niner fan base is going crazy. Levi's is definitely a vibe, and I feel like Levi's is now it's a big-time home field advantage for the Niners. So I still think we go 11-6. But looking forward, we got Monday Night Football. We still don't know if Kyler's going to play. We still don't know if Colt McCoy is going to play. Colt McCoy has a knee issue. Kyler Murray has a hamstring issue. Cliff Kingsbury hasn't made a determination yet. They did practice today, according to reports. So that's something to look into. But I feel like the Cardinals right now, they're kind of falling apart. There seems to be dissension. Cliff Kingsbury, we know he's not a good coach, and they kind of falling apart at the seams. You had Kyler and Hopkins last week just yelling at each other. It's been bad, man. It's been bad. It's been bad for them. So they're backs against the wall. 49ers throwback, what's up? You like the Rice jersey? Appreciate you. I came in. I was like, let me wear some throwback today. It's Throwback Thursday, right? And I was looking at my closet. I was like, man, I haven't worn this jersey in ages. So I threw on the jersey, the Jerry Rice, the old little maroon. You remember these joints? I used to love these ones. A lot of people like the maroon color. I don't know why. I liked it. Sad Niner fan says they need to give Debo the ball more. They basically paying him $70 million to be a decoy. So let's talk about Debo. First and foremost, the 49ers have a lot of weapons. CMC, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Mitchell, Debo Samuel. Right? They have tons of weapons. It's hard to feed everybody and keep them all happy. Now, I know Debo's a big-time focal point, and he's getting paid a lot of money. They need to figure out ways to get him in. But they also integrated CMC, right? And they're still trying to figure out how to get everybody on the same page. You got to remember, CMC's been on the team for 3 weeks. George Kittle's been on the team and had some injuries early on in the year. He had the hamstring. Juwan Jennings even had a hamstring. Debo had a hamstring. Elijah Mitchell was out for an MCL sprain. So everybody's still kind of getting back. I feel like they're just all trying to get used to all the moving parts. Jimmy can only do so much, and he's trying to get the ball to everybody's playmakers' hands. But sometimes situational football sparks, and you got to get the ball to the certain people at a certain position. And then you got Ayuk going crazy. He's always open, so he's been separating like even better than Debo. That's the other thing. The emergence of Brandon Ayuk, him and Jimmy have built really good chemistry. It's hard to not throw it to Ayuk when he's open every time. He's pretty reliable. And I feel like Debo is just having a hard time separating. He's had a couple drops here and there that were big-time crucial drops, right? So I just think that, it's a combination of a lot of things. It's a combination of there's a lot of weapons. It's a combination of Debo may not be where he was at this point last year. Last year he put the team on his back. They had no other options. Teams kind of they game planned for Debo, And then again, too, trying to figure out how to utilize him and CNC and everybody else. It's a lot of moving parts. I think Debo will kind of step it up. He's a playmaker, man. And if you give him the ball, he's going to make big-time plays. But I feel like he's just not where he was last year. He did miss some time training with the team this year, with his contract situation. It did limit him a little bit in what he was able to do. He did his training, but it wasn't, I don't think, as it could have been if he had the contract already earlier and he signed with the team and he was training with the team. I feel like it wasn't the training he normally would do. That's just the way I see it. Because, of course, he doesn't want to hurt himself. He doesn't want to put himself in a position to get hurt. So I feel like Debo maybe kind of was at a limited capacity this offseason. And he's coming into the season maybe not in the best form. But I think he'll get there. And, again, the hamstring injury maybe threw him back a little bit. There's just a lot of weapons on this team. So Debo reposted my post. Let's go. Let's see what Debo posted, baby. I love Debo, man. That's my boy. Let's see. Did he repost my post? Let's see what Debo posted. Let's check out the gram. Let's check out. I don't even know. I'm over here talking to you guys. Let's see what Debo posted. Debo, 19 problems. Look at it. Oh, look at that. Debo said, so he posted the video of, where he's peeking out the window. It's cold outside. He says, ain't gonna cap. It's too cold out here. Debo's a cold-blooded. That's funny, man. Marco says he looks chunkier. Marco says he looks slower. Yeah, you know what? I do feel that he is a little bit slower. And that's, again, not separating off the line, right? He's not separating as fast as he normally would be off the line. So I agree. I feel like he needs to kind of get himself at that explosiveness that he was in the past. But, again, I think that just goes back to the training in the offseason. He's definitely not as explosive as he was last year. I mean, last year you could just see him just cutting off the line. I don't see it as much this year. I agree with that. That video is hilarious. Sacktown says nothing's wrong with Debo. Defense are just more focused on him. And that's another issue too. We said that is one of the key areas is these teams are focused on him. They game planned for him. They knew Debo was the focal point. Like, defenses saw the film over the offseason, and when they play the 49ers, when they do film study, I guarantee you they're looking at him and say, okay, where's Debo? Where's Debo? How do we stop Debo? He was a problem last year. So you're right, Sacktown, 100%. Hit that like button. That's right. Alberto says 42 in the chat and only 5 showing him love. Come on, hit that like button, baby boy. You got to hit that like button. Why are you watching me? Hit that like button, baby. Let's get that like going. Get them likes up. You know the vibes. What's up? PJ says he's called 19 problems for a reason. He's called 19 problems for a reason. That's for sure, man. He's not called one problem. He's 19 problems. That he is a problem, but they got to get him involved. I do agree a little bit more. I would love to see Debo go crazy against the Cardinals on Monday night. Like, he hasn't had that game where you're like, man, God, Debo took over, right? He hasn't had like a monster game. I think he's had 2 games where he had like 70 yards, but he hasn't had a monster game. 70 yards receiving, I believe. He hasn't had like a game where you're like, oh man, here comes Debo. He's still physical. He's still, doing his thing, but he's just not where he was last year. Again, last year he was in this in this zone. I think he was locked in, just zoned out because he knew he needed to get paid, so he had to go out there and put the stats in. I'm not saying he's playing worse because he knows he has the money, he has the bag, he doesn't have to play as hard. Just a lot of factors, but he definitely played the best of his abilities last year because he knew without a shadow of a doubt if he balled out, he's getting paid. He got paid $71 million. So we'll see what happens. S Flood says the Cardinals game could be a trap game. Division games are always tough. I've been saying it all week, man. Division games are tough. You throw out the record. And I know a lot of people expect the Niners to beat the Cardinals, and I do too. I think we will. I think we can. But it's going to be a tough game, man, because, again, the Cardinals are backs against the wall. They're 4-6. They have to win. This is a must-win game. If they lose this game, they're 4-7. Their season's pretty much. I don't think they can come back and make a playoff push if they're 4-7. If they're 5-6, they got a little bit of a chance when you have the NFC wide open as it is. So Alberto says he put on some pounds, so it takes more to bring him down. I think that's a fair statement. Like maybe he tried to get a little bit bulky, a little bigger, so it's even harder. I mean, he was hard to take down already, and now it's probably even harder. It's like a freaking freight train coming at you, right? As opposed to a Mack truck. He was a Mack truck before. Now he's kind of a freight train. He's still a beast. At the end of the day, man, listen, Debo's still a beast. He's still a bad mother sucker on the field, man. And if you see him, he puts in the work. He still does his thing. And I know he hasn't put up the numbers we all wanted him to. He's still a beast, man. And we still have him on this team. And I'm so damn glad he's on our team and not on the opposing team. And you know what? You got to give Brandon Ayuk credit because this is a guy that's stepping up too. Brandon Ayuk is taking over as wide receiver one. Like, I get it. Debo hasn't played as good as we wanted him to. But on the other flip side, Brandon Ayuk is tearing shit up. He's having his breakout season. And he's consistent. And he's healthy. And he hasn't missed a beat. And him and Jimmy have great chemistry. So you got to give Brandon Ayuk. As much as we want to sit here and say, Debo hasn't played as good, let's go give my man Brandon Ayuk the flowers he deserves. Give that man a bouquet because he is tearing it up. PJ says AZ and LA in shambles. They are in absolute shit. Arizona is in bad shape, but the Rams, they are down bad. They are so bad. I feel bad for them. I feel bad for Cooper Kupp. That's what I feel bad for. I feel bad for Cooper Kupp. Out of everybody out there, I feel so bad for Cooper Kupp, man. Because they overused that guy. He's a great player. I hate to wish injuries on anybody. But, yeah, Cooper Kupp got overused. Just like Sean McVay ran Todd Gurley down to the ground, he's doing the same with Cooper Kupp, man. We swept LA. We swept them all. Look at that. We beat the Rams twice. We beat the Chargers. And we stole CMC from the Rams. We beat them 4 times. We swept them out. Pull the brooms out. VZ says, do we know who's starting at quarterback for Arizona? Yeah, we don't yet. We still don't. Again, that's something that Cliff Kingsbury hasn't officially announced yet. They both practiced today. But I don't know. Maybe Colt McCoy is going to play quarterback. Can you imagine? So we'll see. Alberto says he's going to get more touches because he's going to be open more often. I think Debo's going to have a good run coming up. I really feel Debo's going to come up and have some big games. So we'll see. Let's kind of open it up. Ask you a little bit more questions. So again, Armstead's been out. Kinlaw's out. Who's stepping up on this D-line? Charles Omenihu and Jordan Willis last week really stepped up. I got to talk about Charles Omenihu. That's a guy that's not getting enough love out there. This guy's really having a good season. And you know what? Charles Omenihu, he's going to be a free agent this year. If he continues to play this well, we may not be able to afford him, And I know Drake Jackson's the guy that will be probably replacing him down the line and have a lot more, opportunities. He's a rookie this year. He's going through his rookie opportunities, and he's making the most, and he's growing. But I think next year, Drake Jackson is going to be the guy that's like, whoa, he takes a huge second-year leap. Just like Hufanga this, First year, not bad. Second year, he takes this huge leap, and then he's become a superstar. I think Drake Jackson is going to be that guy next year, Because I don't know if they're going to be able to bring back Samson Ebicam. I don't know if they're going to bring back Charles Omenihu. That's going to be 2 guys that could be, out of their price range. And the other issue, they got Nick Bosa to pay. It's going to be very costly. They might not be able to sign everybody because Nick Bosa is going to probably break the bank. Nick Bosa is probably going to get the biggest contract in NFL history. I'm going to call it right now. He's probably going to get quarterback money. I mean, if he continues to play the way he is, and when he's Nick Bosa, he's gonna get quarterback money, man. So Charles Omenihu, who's been playing phenomenal, and I don't know if we're gonna be able to keep him, but I like the fact that he's just been tearing it up, man. I love his game. Chris Kasurik's done a great job with him, and he's gonna get paid because of Chris Kasurik. So we'll see. Appreciate your Rice Goat. Got the Rice Goat jersey on. S. Flood says Debo's not having to do much. Might be a blessing. Save him for the stretch run and hopefully the playoffs. It's kind of a good take there because, okay, let him stay healthy. He may not have a big-time season, but in the playoffs, if he's healthy, he's going to have fresh legs. Fresh legs, Debo, and he'll be in better shape by then than he is now. And everybody else is kind of falling apart. Can you imagine fresh legs, Debo, trying to tackle that man in cold weather in January football? Might be for the best. Maybe they're preserving him. If they could win without using him that much, I'm good with it. I mean, at the end of the day, CMC, he's a beast. You got Brandon Ayuk tearing it up. Juwan Jennings stepping up on third down. So Elijah Mitchell was a cold piece. So, I mean, I feel like maybe if he doesn't have the season we want him to and he doesn't, go crazy and he's kind of not getting the looks, playoffs, he'll be pretty healthy. And I think that's dangerous for the league. So it's a good point. Fled. We'll see what happens, though. At the end of the day, this team has a lot of weapons. And I think moving forward, with that being said, I think this team is going to go and score a lot of points, right? You have a lot of talent. CMC, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Debo. I feel like they're just about to get on this pace where they go crazy. And I feel like the only issue that's holding them back is that red zone. They get the ball. They get down to the red zone. They get there. They just can't figure out how to push the ball through the end zone. That's it. That's really it. How the hell do you get the ball through the end zone? And I feel like there's some play calling deficiencies there and execution, right? There was a drop pass from Ayuk. He knows I guarantee you Brandon Ayuk is not going to make that same mistake. If he gets that same opportunity, he's going to make sure he catches that pass. And, it probably ate him up inside. And then there's just a few things like, okay, you got the goal line play. Give it to CMC. He's your goal line. I think he's a touchdown magnet. He knows how to get a touchdown. He has a nose for touchdown. I love Elijah Mitchell, but he's not your goal line back. Even last year, when Elijah Mitchell got down there, they would give it to someone else. Jeff Wilson, if healthy or something, Jimmy G, he could quarterback sneak like nobody else. So they just got to figure out how to utilize all these players on the red zone. And I think Kittle needs to be utilized in that red zone more. I get it. We know he's holding Mike McGlinchey's hand on the right side to help him block. But in the red zone, go give George Kittle the ball and let him catch some damn touchdowns. Juwan Jennings, go give that man a damn touchdown in the red zone. Give these guys some passes. Jimmy could throw the ball. He's doing better this year. Throw the ball a few times in the red zone. I don't care if you're a run-first team. I know you ran 41 times last game, and that's great. You proved your point that you're physical. You're a bully. Throw the ball a few times on the red zone. It's not going to hurt. That's where I need to see them do. That's what I need to see. I need to see them throw the damn ball down the field in the red zone. That's it. Alberto says, this is why I say Kyle has something under his sleeve. He's going to surprise everyone in the play. You got to get to the playoffs first. You got to get there first. So start pulling out a few plays out of that playbook. I get it. You don't want to throw your whole bag at everybody, but pull out a few damn tricks because we got to win these games before you get to the playoffs. So I think they're going to go on a run, but still, there's going to be some games where it's going to be a little close for comfort. And I need to see you pull out a few tricks out of your bag. So this is a good question. I'm going to let you guys answer this too. Who would you rather play, Kyler Murray or Colt McCoy? Is that tough? Is it tough? I'd rather actually. This is crazy. I think we'd all rather play Kyler Murray. It's crazy. But Kyler Murray is the mobile quarterback, and I hate to play mobile quarterbacks with the defense struggles against mobile quarterback. But Kyler Murray is just, I don't know. He's lost this year. He signed the money. He's ready to play Call of Duty. I just don't see Kyler being this like big time elite quarterback. He didn't take that leap. The second year leap or third year leap or however many years he's been, he just hasn't taken that like superstar leap. I know he's been a Pro Bowl quarterback. He's puts up good numbers. Like, I'm not disrespecting his skill set. He's been pretty good, but he just hasn't taken that elite leap that most quarterbacks take, right? Like because a lot of people are like, Kyler's going to be a beast. he's not really a beast. And he cries a lot. He gets upset. Him and D-Hop are pissed off at each other on the sidelines. Kingsbury's a horrible coach, and he's probably going to stay because they gave him an extension this offseason. I think Colt McCoy is the better option. He's safer. He's a veteran, and he doesn't cry about stuff. So, I think we can beat them both, though. I mean, and this is the thing. It's funny because we're sitting here like, put Kyler in over Colt McCoy. Kyler's the better quarterback. He's the more talented quarterback. But he just doesn't have the maturity level. He has the maturity level of a 5-year-old. That's what I look at him for. Colt McCoy's mature, and he's a gamer, and he's just going to go out there and play the game. He doesn't care about the drama. He's just going to go out there and play football because he's a professional football player. Kyler's got the drama, and and all the money and everything. But he is a talented player. He's really good. Niners struggle against the running quarterbacks. I'd rather play Kyler because I want to beat Kyler because we haven't beat him. And also, too, Kyler has had some big games against him. I want Nick Bosa to throw Kyler Murray. I want him to take Kyler Murray and just slam him on the ground. I want to see him take him out. I don't care about anything else. I want to see Kyler Murray get dog walked. That's what I want to see. I'm not afraid of Colt McCoy either, by the way. A lot of fans are. It's funny, man. People online, on Twitter, everywhere, they're so mad. Don't. Remember what Colt McCoy did last year? It's Colt McCoy, ladies and gentlemen. It's Colt McCoy. I want to beat him too. I just want to beat Kyler Murray so bad. God, Colt McCoy's not. He doesn't scare me. Now, if he beats us, I'm going to be so pissed. You don't want to take a loss to Colt McCoy. So that's the other part of it, is if the Niners go out there and they fall flat and they lose to Colt McCoy, that's embarrassing. I mean, it's okay to lose to Kyler Murray because you're expected to, have a fight against Kyler Murray. You lose against Colt McCoy, that's embarrassing. PJ says Colt McCoy is him. He might be. He might just be. Steve-O says, I was at the game when they lost to Colt McCoy. Yeah, that's disgusting. They had a lot of issues that year on that game. They did have a lot of issues in that game. Definitely seems like an anomaly. If they were to lose to Colt McCoy twice, I'm done. Packing up. Cook it up. I'm sick. I'll call in. I'll be sick. I'll be throwing up. I'll be vomiting. I don't know if I'm going to make Thanksgiving dinner if we lose to Colt McCoy. That's how bad I'll feel. I'm going to be in shambles. The Niners, if they lose to Colt McCoy, I'm not having Thanksgiving dinner. I can't do it. That's a good question. Pleasure TV says, do you think it's possible we hired Anthony Lynn to replace D'Amico Ryans, knowing Lynn's DC history? We all knew Bobby Turner was coming back, and I hope it's just overthinking. I think you're definitely overthinking. I don't think Anthony Lynn was brought back to be a DC or any of that stuff. I feel like Anthony Lynn was there to be a helper for Kyle. You lose Mike McDaniel, you need a guy to come in and do some dirty work. That's really it. Like, I know a lot of fans are like, oh, he could take Kyle's job. This is not a head coach. He was not a really great head coach. I mean, he's good with running. And also, too, they didn't have Bobby Turner until a couple of weeks ago, right? Because Bobby Turner was like, oh, crap, I need to save this man's job. I need to help him out and help him with the run game. So Anthony Lynn, I think, was just there to help out because Mike McDaniel was gone, and he needed somebody. They needed somebody to help, and he wasn't helping enough. So then, obviously, Bobby Turner comes back earlier than expected. But I don't think he's going to take over anybody's spot. I think if D'Amico Ryans leaves, Vic Fangio probably has a better chance of becoming the DC next year because he's kind of been sitting back, waiting in the wings. He's got history with the team. The Denver Lynch connection. I feel Vic Fangio would be the guy that takes over as DC. I don't think Anthony Lynn has any coaching. I don't think the Niners have any coaching aspirations for Anthony Lynn. He's there to help. Kyle needs a guy to do some dirty work and help him with game planning. Simple as that. So, my God, my phone's going crazy. I'm sorry if you guys hear those notifications. I need to turn those. People are texting me like crazy. There must be something going on. I don't know. I think we'll keep Ryans for another year. I hope so. I like Ryans, but I wouldn't be upset if he leaves because he gets a good opportunity. If he gets a good opportunity, I think they'll let him go. Any chance they call up Gutierrez for the Mexico game? I don't know. I don't think they will. I mean, obviously, he's still on the practice squad, and I don't think they would elevate him just for the culture, maybe just, maybe to make everybody happy. But I think he's just going to be happy to be there, and see his family and stuff in his, native land. So I don't think they elevate him up just because, the Mexico game, but it would be a cool story. It definitely would be a cool story. But I think McGlinchey's going to finish it out the season at right tackle. So snowing in Colorado, says Monique. It's cold out there. Have you ever been to Colorado? I don't know if anybody's been to Colorado. It's chilly. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's cold out there. I went to Aspen once. Oh my god, we went like skiing, like a family trip. That was cold, man. It was cold. I've been to Denver a few times. Colorado's cold. I'm not built for the snow. I've been to Michigan one time. Oh my god. Yeah, I think Fangio would be amazing too. If Bosa's ranked number 2, who's ranked number 1? In what stat category? I don't know. You got to let me know which stat category. But Bosa's 1 and 2 in most categories. I think Micah Parsons is around there too, and Judon from the Patriots. Like, those guys are top 3 right now this season. Those guys are killing it, man. But Bosa, you know what? Listen to Nick Bosa. Do you see this ridiculous stat line? The guy's amazing. This guy's amazing. He missed a game and a half. And let's pull up that little stat that NFL posted. Obviously, everybody's posting it today. He's got 24 quarterback hits. Nick Bosa has 24 quarterback hits. He's hit the quarterback 24 times. He's missed a game and a half. That's number 1 in the NFL. He's got 9.5 sacks, tied for second. Matt Judon over in New England has got 11 or something, like 11.5. That's crazy. And then he's got 11 tackles for loss, tied for third in the NFL. That's pretty damn good numbers. And he missed the game and a half. Dude, Nick Bosa, again, what I say the other night, I said that was a game that Nick Bosa needed to have to put himself in the talks for Defensive Player of the Year. Because we and you know that he's a Defensive Player of the Year type of guy. But the NFL, they need to see him put up a big game on primetime. They need to see it because they forget about Nick Bosa. For whatever reason, the league does not want to put respect on Nick Bosa's name. But when he comes out on a primetime game and you have 9 quarterback pressures, silly. That's the type of game. And now you got another primetime game, Monday night. And that's another reason why I want Kyler to play. Because if Nick Bosa goes crazy and he kills Kyler and he goes crazy on Kyler, that's going to be good for Defensive Player of the Year. So that's another reason I want Kyler to play. I want Nick Bosa to take this man and put him down on the ground. That's what we need. Colorado is crazy. Eduardo, we're going to talk about this a lot in the offseason because I know this is going to be a big topic, but we have talked about it a little bit. Do you think Jimmy has a chance to start next year if we win the Super Bowl? I mean, it's definitely something you got to consider, right? Would the team let him walk? I know you got a young quarterback, but maybe you keep Jimmy and say, hey, look, we're going to give you a chance to be the insurance guy. And then maybe he battles it out. And then maybe Trey Lance is, still coming back from the injury and he's not 100% ready. I think that possibility is very low, but I think there is a possibility. You never know. Because if Jimmy Garoppolo wins the Super Bowl, I would tell you what, this fan base is going to be like, holy crap, this guy just won a Super Bowl. Last quarterback to win it is Steve Young. You think I'm lying to you? A lot of fans would probably say, oh my God, well, this guy won a Super Bowl. Nobody else has done it, right? After all these years. I think fan base would be compelled, and Kyle and Lynch would have to consider it. It's something they have to consider. Or you got to think about this, because Jimmy's played pretty well overall. I'm not going to say he's elite. He's had some head scratchers. He's still had some like blunders here and there. But for Jimmy, he's played a lot better than he has in a long time. He's having a good season. You got to remember, he's had a contract season. He's a free agent after this year. He's playing for that bag. He's playing for probably his last contract of his career. That's it. He's playing for the bag, right? And every time he wins a game, he gets more money. He has the incentive. Like, I think people forgot. Remember when he restructured that contract this year? Every time he wins, he gets money. He gets more money. So it behooves him. He has to play good. He has to go out and play good. The better he plays, the more they win, the more money in his pocket. The more girls he could go and take on dates. He's going to get the money from all his advertisements and his merchandise and all his endorsements. The guy has a lot of endorsements. Of course he's going to get paid. But if you're going to go out there and play football and they're going to pay him to play better, you're going to do better. It's just an incentive. And the Niners are smart in putting those incentives into his contract. Just like Debo, right? You want more money? Go and run the ball. Go do this. Get me touchdowns. So that's how these. It's a business. Good for both sides. Jimmy's gonna play hard, and you know what? If he decides, okay, what if he wins? What if the Niners win the Super Bowl and he's the Super Bowl quarterback? That's good for him because other teams are gonna look around the league. They're desperate for a quarterback, and they're gonna be like, "Yo, Jimmy tore it up this season. They won a Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo took the Niners to a Super Bowl. Jimmy Garoppolo had a bounce back year after a shoulder surgery. Teams are gonna maybe pay him. They're gonna pay him. So Jimmy's doing whatever he can to maximize his potential next year, whether it's with the Niners or not. I think ultimately, if he tears it up, he's going to go to some team that pays him a lot of money, as he should. Chase the bag, Jimmy. Go get that money, and let's see what Trey Lance has. Because they did. At some point, you do have to let Trey be the guy. At some point, you do have to let Trey be the quarterback one and see what you have in your investment. You spent a lot of draft picks on him. It's time to start to see what it can be. Obviously, this year you couldn't because you got hurt, but whatever. But next season, when he's healthy, that's the guy. They got to commit to him because at some point you have to play a quarterback on their rookie contract and take advantage of it because they got Nick Bosa. They have to pick. Brandon Ayuk is telling them, hey, I'm balling out. You're going to need to extend me this offseason. And they got Azeez Al-Shahir, a couple other guys that need to extend. And if they keep Jimmy on a big contract, they're not going to be able to do that. So Jimmy's probably going to be gone. I think they'll think about it. Of course, they're going to think about it. But he'll be gone. He's going to chase the bag somewhere, wherever he goes. And I'll wish him all the best. He'll deserve his money, especially if he wins the Super Bowl. And you got to start using your quarterback that's on a rookie contract. Bottom line, you have to pay Nick Bosa. Where are you going to get that money? Rookie quarterback contract. That's it. That's my thought. So Alberto says if he leaves, there's only one place to go back. New England. Think Jimmy go back to New England? That might be it because Mac Jones ain't the answer there. Maybe Bill Belichick writes him a letter and says, look, Jimmy, I've been waiting for you for all these years and come back home. Let's go to Boston. I'll pay you all the money you want. Make me a happy man and let's go win a Super Bowl in New England. Maybe you're right. If for some weird reason the 49ers were to get Tom Brady, how do you think it would affect Trey? You know what, man? If I'm Trey, I'd be fucked up, bro. I'm like, Jesus, dude, I can't win for trying. I broke my foot, and now you go and get the GOAT. I got to sit behind him. Like, I think he'd embrace it. Be like, okay, I'm going to sit behind, Tom Brady. Cool, whatever. But I think Trey would be like, listen, man, I need to get out there and play. I think mentally it'd be tough, but obviously it would be amazing for the team. I mean, Tom Brady still has it. I mean, is he at his peak? No, he's 40. Was he 45? Still pretty damn good. But and he's smart. He makes good decisions. He's not the Tom of old, but he's still a damn good quarterback. He's still one of the top quarterbacks in all the statistics. It's crazy how he's still among league leaders. Man's 45 years old. This man's never going to quit. But I think Trey would. I think it'd be tough on Trey. I think at some point, again, you gotta let the guy get his opportunity, man. I think it'd be tough, but would it be bad to go get Tom Brady? I mean, obviously he's a winner. He's the GOAT. I mean, why not? Why not try to go and get a legend? But for Trey's sake, and again, man, I think we got to see what Trey has in stock, man. I think it would be rough on him. So it'd be tough. I don't know. What do you guys think? Would you guys want Tom Brady? I don't know. What do you think? Would you want Tom Brady? Or do you want to go roll with Trey? What do you guys think? Do you want Tommy? We're going to have a whole episode. I can't wait for offseason. As much as I love the regular season, offseason, fun because you can just talk about all the most random stuff. So Trey's good. He will get his chance. This is case closed. Honestly, we're bashing Trey about his development, but look at Jordan Love. Sucks to be him. Yeah, that's the thing, man. People, I don't know why people just hate on Trey, man. He's going to be fine. He was going to be good. I'm telling you, he's young, man, and he was going to be fine. We don't people bash him and say, oh, he sucks, this and that. He hadn't even really played much. So people judge him off really not much, tape and film. So I think Trey would have been really solid. They'd be winning games, and he'd be getting better every day, every game. But it's unfortunate how everything kind of happened. And I got faith in the kid. He's got a lot of potential, The thing is, he was raw. Just needs time. Man. I like Trey, but Tom the GOAT can't compare. I mean, that's a fair assessment, Monique. You can't really compare the GOAT. Let's see. Eduardo says, I think if we have a chance to get the GOAT, we got to go for it. Okay. S. Flood says, you got to roll with Trey, re-sign some key players. I mean, I like it. He's a bust as 49ers fan. You can't say that yet. We don't know if he's a bust. He hasn't really played yet. You can't judge him yet. Now, if he goes out there and he stinks it up, he gets hurt again next year, then go ahead and say it. But you can't say he's a bust yet. You really honestly can't. We don't know yet. You got to give a quarterback about 3 years. I feel like you got to give, unless they're just Jamarcus Russell and they just flat out suck. Ryan Leaf. I don't think Trey's a bust yet. I don't think so. It's too early to tell. He's 22 years old. He's got a long way. He's got a lot left in him. But we'll see. I mean, that's your opinion. I don't agree with it, but everybody's entitled, and I'm not gonna slam you for it. I don't think it's like a horrible take because I know a lot of fans think that. It is what it is. Eduardo says once he gets a full 16 starts, we can evaluate, and that's my sentiment. Like, I feel like we have to at least see him play a season so we can like evaluate him because it's not fair. 3 games, you can't. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. But now, if he can't make it to a full season, then there's another issue. Then there's medical bust, right? There's players that are bust because they can't stay on the field, and that's Javon Kinlaw, unfortunately. So, S. Flood, is Danny Gray the next Trey Sermon? It's low-key looking like it, huh? It's low-key looking at it. But I will say this with Kyle, he's tough on the rookies. He's very, 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 very hard on them, and it takes time. And a lot of them, they're there. They go through the motions. They're red shirt, most of them, and then they got to go through the growing process, and it's tough mentally. Some of them, they get thrown into the fire because they're ready, because they show what they got to do in practice. Some of them just need more time, and it's tough. And it's that second year. How do you respond in that second year? Because look at the Aaron Banks last year. I don't think anybody here thought that Aaron Banks was going to be what he is right now. Everybody wrote him off. He barely played. He played 1 preseason game. He was hurt. Never got called up. He dressed up for like 3 games. He was redshirted, and everybody's like, God, he sucks. He's a bust. We should have drafted Asante Samuel. Laken Thompson, why did we let him go? Sucks. Garbage. Trash. And now everybody loves Aaron Banks. So it's hard to evaluate rookies in under Kyle Shanahan, because sometimes they just don't get chances, and sometimes there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And Kyle wants them to be consistent. They want to go through. They got to do the dirty work. And wide receiver is a tough spot for Kyle. A tough spot for Kyle. You have to go out there and be a willing blocker. You have to be out there, and you're not going to get a lot of opportunities. You have to make the most of those chances. Like look at Kendrick Bourne. That guy worked his way up that team. I mean, he worked his way up that team. Brandon Ayuk, first year pretty good. Second year he started off slow. He had the hamstring injury in training camp. Came out flat. He just didn't look like he was like making those strides we all thought. He was in the doghouse, right? And for whatever reason, he figured it out. He snapped out, made him play harder. The tough love worked. It's a tough love thing with Kyle. It sucks because you're like, fuck, just give him the opportunity. And why are you so tough on him? But it works. He's a tough love guy, because the thing that Brandon Ayuk said a few weeks ago in his interview, he goes, yo, Kyle told me that I'm not as good as everybody thinks. He said, look, everybody just told you were great. You got to work for it, basically. Like he told him, he's like, Kyle said I was never coached right. Kyle said, hey, look, you want to be great? Get better. Go work. He was good. Like, obviously, Brandon Ayuk's good. But just look at how much Brandon Ayuk's route running has improved. Do you remember from first season to this season? Like, Ayuk was a pretty good route runner when he first came out of college. I'm not going to say he wasn't. But it wasn't like the crispiest route runner. He could still improve. Look at the route running he does. I mean, you see Brandon Ayuk. Guy, man, he's like a professional skater out there. I mean, he's just like, he's got these guys on absolute skates, dude. It's crazy. So the one thing I'll say is it's hard to evaluate young players in Kyle Shanahan's system because sometimes they don't get a lot of opportunities as a rookie. It's about development. Some players do. Like Dre Greenlaw, remember his first year? Quan Alexander got hurt, so it's like, well, crap, buckle up, Buttercup. You're going in. We got to use you. You're going to be thrown into the fire. And Dre Greenlaw balled out. And obviously the goal line stand and everything else is history. So sometimes these guys get an opportunity and they have to take it. Sometimes Kyle's going to be like, well, you're not going to get your opportunity. We're going to wait. You're going to develop. Like Elijah Mitchell last year. There was literally no running backs. Raheem Mostert got hurt. So it's like, shit, go in there, kid. And he tore it up. So it just depends on the circumstances. So Jennings is a beast, Eduardo. I like him. What's the real reason we struggling to score touchdowns in the red zone? I did mention this before at the beginning of the stream. I'll touch upon this, then I'm going to bounce because I got another show to do at 4, so I want to get ready for that. But I feel like play calling and execution. I mean, I feel like maybe they need to open it up a little bit. Let Jimmy pass in the red zone. Come on, man. Give him some passing opportunities. Honestly, let him pass. I know you're going to run. Everybody else knows you're going to run. So mix it up a little bit. Jimmy's not doing that bad this year. You can use Kittle. You got a guy named George Kittle. I don't know if you know. He's pretty good. He's pretty tall. He could probably beat almost any lineman that's lined up to him. Throw the ball to him, please. So I feel like that part of it, just making sure they're utilizing those guys effectively in the red zone, their weapons, and they got to execute because there's been times where they, like the Brandon Ayuk, right, routed him up, absolute cold cut route, and he drops the pass. You gotta execute. Elijah Mitchell, why is he running instead of CMC? Then Mike McGlinchey, right? He missed the block, and that was horrible. Messed that play up. So just some execution things, clean up the play calling. I think we'll be fine. So, anyways, you guys have a good rest of your day. I'm gonna take a little break, and I'm gonna go on with 49ers First Takes. I don't know if you guys know 49ers First Takes. Aaron from 49ers First Takes. I'm gonna go on his show. We're going to chop it up. We'll probably talk about that anyways. We're going to talk about everything. I'm going to go on his show for about an hour and then get ready for some Thursday night football tonight. Good night, folks. You guys have a good one. I'll probably be on Instagram Live after the game tonight, Thursday night football. It's already Thursday night football. That's crazy. Crazy. You guys have a good day. I love you. Stay easy. Appreciate you. Have a good night. I love you.